Okay, let's just jump right in. We usually think of songs as just music, right? Melodies, rhymes. But today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to treat one song like a piece of literature, like a short story told through lyrics. We're deconstructing Runaway, and we're looking only at the words to see it for what it is, a complete, self-contained confession.
And wow, what a way to kick things off, right? The song just throws this line at you right from the very beginning. And think about it, it's not an apology, he's not sad about it, it's a toast. That immediately sets this confrontational, super self-aware, and honestly unapologetically flawed tone. It's the perfect hook, and it tells you right away this is not going to be your typical story.
All right, so what's the actual problem here? What's driving this whole confession? Well, the narrator doesn't waste any time. He puts his own destructive side right under the microscope for us all to see. I mean, right out of the gate, he's telling us this isn't just some one-time mistake. He frames it like it's a chronic condition. And I mean, really think about that for a second. He sees this flaw as a fundamental part of who he is, something he just can't get away from. So this isn't about one bad fight, no. It's about a deep-seated inability to ever find peace. And you just know this is the seed for all the chaos that's about to come.
And you got to listen to the words he's using here. He doesn't just say, I'm bad at relationships. No, he says he's gifted at finding what's wrong. It's like he's framing his own toxicity as this dark superpower, this really twisted kind of talent. And it's that self-awareness, that almost pride in how destructive he can be, that makes this whole thing so chilling.
And he's not just talking in vague terms either. He backs it all up with specifics. He literally lists out his screw-ups. She's finding pictures in his email, he's addicted to a certain lifestyle, and then he just turns around and blames everything on her. This isn't some vague "I'm sorry," It's basically a detailed rap sheet of every way he's failed as a partner.
Okay, so he's laid it all out there, he's admitted his faults. The next logical step should be an apology, right? Maybe a promise to change? Yeah. That's not where this story is going. Instead of asking for forgiveness, our narrator turns this whole confession into this really weird celebration.
And this is the pivot point. This is where the song just takes a hard left turn. He's not asking to be forgiven. He decides it's time to raise a glass. He's taking all this private shame and just blasting it out in public, turning it into this huge defiant spectacle.
And just look at the guest list for this toast. It's a who's who of terrible people. By raising a glass to them, he's basically saying, yep, I'm one of you. This is where it stops being just a confession and becomes something else entirely. He is fully, 100% embracing these flaws as his identity.
So he's made it crystal clear who he is, zero apologies. And now he offers a solution. But here's the twist. It's not a plan for him to get better. It's a plan for his partner to get out. In the plan, it's one step. That's it. Super simple, super urgent, super direct. It's almost like he sees himself as a hurricane or something, and the only logical thing to do is evacuate. Immediately. In his own story, he's not the hero. He's the villain you're supposed to be running from. And he hammers this point home again and again. He's basically setting a trigger. He's saying, look, the crazy part is coming. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So this isn't just, some friendly advice. It feels more like a desperate warning from someone on the inside. He is literally begging her to save herself from him. But just when you think you've got the message figured out, boom, the whole narrative gets hijacked. A totally different voice cuts in, and this one gives a really compelling, totally opposite reason to stay. And this new argument, it's got nothing to do with feelings. It's all business, a transaction. And right here, this is it. This is the central conflict of the whole song, laid out perfectly clear. On one hand, you've got the desperate plea, run. But on the other, you have this cold, logical bargain. And the choice is just so stark. Do you get out and save yourself from the emotional damage, or do you stay and live with it for a price? So what's the price? What's the something else you get if you stay? Well, it's a life of insane luxury. We're talking Versace sofas, endless shopping sprees at Neiman's, fancy watches. The second voice spells out the deal crystal clear. All of this stuff can be yours, but you gotta face it, it all comes with a price tag. And that price tag, it's putting up with him.
I mean, this is such a wild move, right? All of his toxic behavior, the cheating, the blaming, it gets completely rebranded as just the basics. It's like it's in the terms and conditions that you have to agree to before you get the lifestyle. The message couldn't be clearer. If you want the perks, you have to accept the poison that comes with them.
And honestly, this one line just sums up that entire worldview perfectly.
It's completely unapologetic, almost proud. There's no excuse, no justification, just a blunt, simple statement of who he is. That's the deal on the table. Take it or leave it. Okay, so after that whole materialistic counter-argument gets thrown out, we switch back to our original narrator. And think about it. He's confessed everything, he's given her the warning, he's even drawn her a map to the exit. And yet, she's still there. And this leaves him with just one last, totally haunting question.
And this single question, this is really the climax of the entire story. I mean, after all this self-hatred, the weird toasts, the desperate pleas to run, he's just left completely confused, genuinely bewildered. He has given her every single reason why he's a lost cause, and she hasn't left. The whole song just hangs right there, on that question, with no easy answer in sight.
And that's the thing. Ultimately, the song gives us no resolution. It just leaves the characters, and us the listeners, stuck in this impossible spot. The story doesn't wrap up with a neat little bow, it just ends. It ends in a trap, this incredibly complex web of toxicity and temptation, and it leaves us thinking about that final haunting question. When the exit sign is lit up that brightly, why on earth would anyone choose to stay?